watching Coin 6 News at 5:30. Watching out for you.
More accusations against the owners of a major Oregon cannabis chain.
Our Coin 6 investigation peeling back another layer of Mota's company culture. We exposed a neglected property where crime wreaked havoc on its East Portland neighbors, pushing Mota's owners towards action.
Then we dug into their consulting contract with Oregon's former Secretary of State that led to her resignation. And now employees of Rosa Cazares and Aaron Mitchell want to tell their story.
We sent Elise Haas to find out what's going on behind the scenes. She joins us with her investigation.
Yeah, so I talked to both former and current employees of Mota, and I went all across the state, here in the metro area, all the way down to Southern Oregon. And they all told similar stories of issues at work.
She wants to know everything that's about me.
Mota is the second largest cannabis chain in Oregon, with more than 30 storefronts across the state. The owners of the company, Rosa Cazares and Aaron Mitchell, were part of the scandal that brought down the then Secretary of State, Shemia Fagan. Well, I told you the story of millions of dollars in unpaid taxes and unpaid vendors. There are other voices you haven't heard from.
They hired people who are giddy and, naive.
Ty Bell contacted me while he was still working at Mota in Eugene.
Since day one, it was I just saw a problem.
First off, we're going to start with how our refrigerator of dab and edibles, right? They're all out, and that's supposed to be our security, right there. So when somebody is at our counter, we're right here, we sell our herb right here. Let me go first. Do I want to go to? Oh wait, this door doesn't have a handle, so you can just open it. Interesting. But the one that does have security, and this little cute guy right there, oh snap. But if they want one from this side, guess what? Both doors even open. So the customer sees this, and now we just look like fools.
According to Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission regulations, dispensaries are required to keep cannabis secure.
They kept all their we would have 30 to 50 pounds of weed out behind us. It was very dangerous.
Bell has years of experience in the cannabis industry, so he says he told management about several safety and compliance issues.
We used to keep all our weed out. They got smart when I told them that we used to have a 30 to 50 pounds sitting here every day. This is where customers can see.
He complained to his manager about the treatment of employees.
We were working 11-hour shifts by ourselves.
He criticized the quality of certain products because, as the labels show, the cannabis was harvested 2 years ago. Although cannabis doesn't necessarily expire, after 6 months to a year, the THC starts to break down.
They can't keep doing this to their customers.
After complaining, Bell says the manager started assigning him more janitorial work than his coworkers. Soon after, Mota fired him. Based on these write-ups, the company says he violated OLCC rules, was making errors, and disrespectful to management.
This is my complaint sheet.
After getting fired, he's filed a complaint with the Bureau of Labor and Industries. I obtained records from the Labor Bureau that shows Bell is not alone. Employees across the state are on record with similar complaints about work conditions. From Portland to Medford, nearly 24 other Mota employees filed complaints and cases with the Labor Bureau for things like missing wages, going without breaks and lunches, and fear of retaliation. A complaint from an employee in Portland said, "I and other employees have been left for months on end to work alone even after being robbed at gunpoint, which means no breaks, no lunches, and the manager makes me leave on clock to carry hundreds of dollars of money to go find change because they refuse to supply enough money for the business to run. There's garbage piled up in front of our only emergency exit because they aren't paying the garbage services at all."
I don't think that the way that they've treated the people that work there has been brought to light as much as it should be.
2 other former employees previously worked at Mota's flagship store in Beaverton.
It was a nightmare with all of the people that came in and out, constantly being fired or quit because of the way they were being treated.
This feeling of peril plagued her on a daily basis.
Someone shatters the front door and nobody comes to fix it for weeks or months. You feel unsafe all the time.
The Washington County Sheriff's Office confirmed someone tried breaking into this Mota in February of 2020, busting the front window, causing more than $800 in damage. Many days, Robert says, she would leave the store in tears because of the work environment.
I have a family We depend on that money, and I couldn't just quit.
Former employees say Mota's operations are less than business-like. At times, Robert says managers told her to take thousands of dollars to her personal bank to get smaller bills for the store.
The company that I work for now would never ask me to take money and go do that. It's weird, and it's dangerous.
Nikolai Kennedy describes the disorder.
I would say being at Mota is pretty much like going to work and being set up for failure every day. Like everything from like iPads not working, which is our POS system, to not having things such as like cartridges or like tinctures or just things that are needed to run a dispensary.
This was their first time in the cannabis industry. These two say it wasn't until they moved on to work for other dispensaries that they recognized some red flags with Mota's practices. According to the OLCC, training and information on business-specific practices are the responsibility of the individual licensed employers. Yet Robert says Mota didn't train her on basic compliance rules like using blue tags to track cannabis from seed to sale, which is supposed to discourage selling cannabis on the black market.
I didn't know that was even a thing until I started for this other company, and I really don't appreciate that at all because I didn't know any better.
We dug into the records and found OLCC inspectors filed more than 200 compliance violations. These violations range in severity and do not always result in a penalty against the business. Kennedy also recalls other violations.
There would be times where they would deny people their medical cannabis cards, like their tax exemption, which is totally illegal. And it's funny now because you see all this stuff about them not paying their taxes anyway.
Recreational cannabis is subject to a 17% tax. Meanwhile, medical marijuana purchases are not taxed. According to documents from the OLCC, there are at least 3 complaints filed against Mota for selling medical marijuana at retail prices. The former employees say they're speaking out now for others' sake.
I want everybody to understand that that's not what the cannabis industry is about. I don't want this to happen to other people.
They believe people have the right to a safe and healthy workplace. So I reached out to the owners of Mota, Aaron Mitchell and Rosa Cazares, to discuss all of this. They originally agreed to, but later canceled an on-camera interview with me. However, they promised to answer my questions via email instead. As of this newscast, though, they have not responded to my inquiries.
I mean, that's a lot of complaints, at least from employees to the OLCC. There's a lot of, when there's a lot of smoke, there's fire, usually. And this is the story that keeps giving. It's so many layers.
Yeah, and after some of our commercials aired as well, there was even more employees who reached out about some of their scary experiences too. So,
Elise, I know you've been working on this not for weeks but for months now, and you can watch Elise's past reporting on Mota and owners Rosa Cazares and Aaron Mitchell right now at coin.com.
Well, a team of